Thank you for standing by. This is still Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. It's Mainland Focus. This is the part where we get to pick one or two or more major trending stories and, just put some spotlight on it for you to share your thoughts and contribution as regards those top stories. And this morning, of course, we'll be looking at the labor unions and their decisions going forward, or their next line of action. And of course, ECOWAS delegation and the Niger military junta. My name is Mobola Sandra, and I have Saheed Fuhad here with me in the studio. Thank you very much, Fuhad.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra, for having me.
Okay, don't forget that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can share your thoughts and contribution on Facebook, YouTube. We'll read it live on air as well as, alongside of taking phone calls. So at Mainland 98.3 FM on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube, watch the program live and drop your comments there. Okay, so now let's us get on with the focal points before we open up the phone line. The first is as regards labor union and the federal government. They had a conversation just barely 24 hours into or after into the protest. They had a conversation with the federal government again, but then just a few hours after that, labor came out again to say, we're going on an indefinite strike by August 14th if the federal government or if the court summons any labor union leader, due to the fact that the federal government took the NLC to National Industrial Court of Nigeria, which has gave an injunction that labor union can't go on strike. All right, so they were held for contempt of court, but then the NLC has now said that if the federal government does not withdraw its contempt of court case in court, they're going to go on an indefinite strike by August 14th. That's the updates that we have. So how best do you think this negotiation should go? Because the last conversation that the NLC had with the federal government, according to sources, was not very fruitful. All right. So how best do you think this negotiation should be handled, especially by the NLC, so that we don't have another wasted time, like we had in the ASU scenario last year? So how best do you think this negotiations be handled, and who has the biggest responsibility to make the negotiations work? All right, the NLC, the federal government, an incoming minister of labor, the state governors. Who exactly has the biggest responsibilities to ensure that these negotiations work, and at the end of the day there's some sort of fruitfulness from the back and forth between the NLC and the federal government? That is the first focal point. The second one we're looking at is as regards Niger and ECOWAS military options. So what we have is that former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar and Sultan of Sokoto Alhaji Saad Abubakar, on behalf of the sub-region, met with the junta leader in Niamey. And we're looking at it from a point of view because there have been reactions on whether there will be use of military force or not. There have also been, indications that maybe we should go the dialogue route. But as of yesterday or so, Nigeria cut off electricity from Niger. Well, it's part of the sanctions. Yes, it's part of the sanctions in any way. But then how best should Nigeria and ECOWAS handle the matter? That is the point we're looking at it from now. Because, the reason why Nigeria is at the forefront, just in case someone is wondering, waiting concern us. Number one, Niger and Nigeria, is just like a second. It's just a step away. All right, we share borders. Number two, the president of Nigeria happens to be the chairman of ECOWAS heads of state and authority. All right, so it is very important. And aside from that, also Nigeria, to a certain extent, in the West Sub-Saharan region in Africa, we are some sort of big brother, if you want to.
We are the big brother. No, we are the big brother in the West African sub-region.
Okay.
The big brother.
All right. Well, as it is now, how best should Nigeria and ECOWAS handle the matter? Is a military option realistic? How far can dialogue and sanctions go? Why should Nigeria get or not get involved? All right. And speaking of how far can dialogue and sanctions go? Fuad, I'm sure you're aware that uh, Russia, Russia is providing a lot of things to all of these countries that have some military interjections or the other, sending them rice, sending them grain, and all of that. So whatever sanction it is that may be given to them, Russia is trying to make them comfortable.
No, no,
But
that
then,
cannot be enough, really.
okay, but how best do you think Nigeria and ECOWAS should handle the matter? Do you think a military option, as regards the ECOMOG now being activated, do you think is realistic? And also, how far can dialogue and sanctions go? Because now they have sent another delegation again to go and have discussions with the military junta. And also, why should Nigeria get or not get involved? Like, waiting, what's our business there?
Well, I think that we've lost an ample opportunity in terms of time, to resolve this issue. As it is, I think these guys have settled in. They are putting structures in place. They now have alliances in Africa and out of Africa as we speak. So it's, I don't know, I think it would be extremely difficult for us to look at the military options at this time. I like the fact that the sanctions have come very early, but it will be difficult for us to look at a military option at this time because of the issue of collateral damage. We are not even sure who is who as far as this coup is concerned. What are the positions that have been taken by different international powers as we speak, because we are hearing the involvement, we are hearing about the involvement of Russia and China in all of this. Even some of the countries like Algeria, we are not completely sure what their positions are. Well, for those other khaki boys in the West African sub-region, they are very clear that, look, a declaration of war on Niger, any military option would be a declaration of war on Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea. I think every one of them is issuing statements saying that they're going to provide some form of solidarity. While we have shut our borders here in Nigeria against Niger, these other countries have opened their borders. They are still dealing with them. So it means that, look, whatever has happened in terms of the military takeover, they are also khaki boys, so it's understandable why they are showing some form of solidarity to them. I think that as the superpower in the West African sub-region, we need to get involved. I've seen people say, oh, it's not our business. No. It's our business because of our position in the West African sub-region. There's no way we would not have to get involved, if you understand what I'm saying, because of and the fact that we share borders with them, is the reason why we need to get involved. Our level of involvement should now be the debate. Should we deploy troops? There are people who have said no, we shouldn't deploy troops there. What we need to do is to continue to ramp up the sanctions and continue negotiations, continue diplomacy. And I think that at the end of the day, what may happen is that these khaki boys would be given an opportunity to give a period of transition. Okay, maybe 3-6 months, which a lot of times they always fail to, how do I put it now, to honor. A lot of times when khaki boys come and tell you that, the soldiers come and tell you, okay, 6 months, we're going to hold elections and transit. A lot of times them keep extending it. And it gets to a point where they now want to even transit from a military government to civilian government and all of that, So, but it's a very delicate one. I think military options should be taken away from the table as it is. But I think sanctions would work, serious sanctions. And again, we need to be clear. What exactly is the position of France and the United States? I see them playing some form of games. France is not clear, really, about what he wants to do with some of these former colonies where these coups are happening. They pulled out of Mali. They are not even saying anything about Burkina Faso, and even the Guinea. They have these alliances with them, even though it was a Portuguese colony in the past, but to a great extent, they have a lot of relationship with France. But we don't have a definite understanding of what France wants to do with all of these things, because they keep losing grounds. These are their former colonies. These are their former territories. And, they've been here for centuries, for decades, having that relationship with these countries. And suddenly, they are losing grounds. Russia seems to be taking over. For example, in Mali, the Wagner troops are on their streets carrying out operations, in Mali. The same thing in Burkina Faso, the same thing in Guinea. And France is just, not saying anything. They are not even responding, So Nigeria needs to really understand the international dimensions to this issue before we take any further step. All we can do, like I think I agree with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is to continue with the sanctions and continue the negotiations. But I think military options will be a very delicate one to go into at this time.
All right, let's go to the NLC now. How best do you think these negotiations can be handled, and who's more responsible Who is most responsible for the success of this negotiations?
I think the government. It has to be the government. And I think the government needs to come out clean and open. They need to understand that, look, the labor leaders may be the face of the struggle. The interest of the workers and the Nigerian people is the most important thing here. So whatever position labor is putting on the table is not for their leaders, I assume. I think they need to understand that whatever they are saying is about the general interest of Nigerians. They may be speaking for their members and workers, but whatever they are saying also affects all of Nigerians. And I think they need to do away with what we saw during the Buhari era, where the government, begins to show two hands. On one hand, they are negotiating; on the other hand, they are doing things to set up ditches and booby traps for labor. This is the time for the government to listen, be proactive, bring things on the table, so that we can know whether it is the labor that is overdoing things or not. What exactly are they putting on the table for labor? We don't have any information here. The negotiations look like, one form of tricks here and there, games being played. Like somebody says, they are running, they run labor. When you run things like they are just deceiving labor, I think this is about the interest of the people, the living of the people, the fact that people are suffering. More people are being thrown into unemployment as we speak. The poverty level is rising. Food inflation is going through the roof. So the government needs to do something realistic and be more realistic about the yearnings of Nigerians at this time. So for these negotiations to work, I think most of what it takes for it to work lies in the hands of the government. And I think they know what to do, really, to make these things work.
All right, then let's open up the phone line and let's get to hear get the contribution of our listener. So it's time for you to share your contribution. 0913 6000 410 0913 6000 410. That is the number to call. For text messages and WhatsApp messages, it's 0913 6000 430. 0913 6000 430. That's for text messages and WhatsApp messages. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can share your thoughts and contribution on the live chat section on both platforms, and we'll also read them out on air. Now let's have a conversation as regards these two focal points. The first, of course, is as regards the NLC and their negotiations with the federal government. What are your thoughts as so far? They said they're going on indefinite strike by August 14th. So we're asking the very simple question of how best should these negotiations be handled? Who has the biggest responsibility to ensure that these negotiations work and are successful? That is that. And of course, looking at the Niger and ECOWAS situation, how best should Nigeria and ECOWAS handle the matter? Is a military option realistic? How far can dialogue and sanctions go? And why should Nigeria get or not get involved? Those are the focal points this morning. 0913 6000 410. You have just 2 minutes to share your thoughts, and let's please try to keep things clean. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barrister
Hello.
Peter. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, God bless you. And my friend Fuhad.
Good morning, sir.
On these two issues we are focusing on this morning, my take, first of all, on the issue of labor and government, is that, sincerely speaking, the labor is not, in fact, they are being naive. They are being naive and not proactive. Because when you deal with government in Nigeria, both at state and federal level, you have to deal with them as if you are dealing with leprosy. Deal with them with a long stick, because you cannot, what they call it, labor is not showing that they won't abide by the rule of law. Because I have always maintained, that labor should go to the National Industrial Court. You see, the National Industrial Court was established by the federal government to resolve issues concerning labor and issues of labor generally. And the labor has, not taken advantage of that. They prefer to go on strike and demonstration, which is illegal. I'm a lawyer. I'm really very disappointed that the lawyer for the labor group is not doing a good job. I'm very sorry to say that, but he's not doing it. And then let the only view on the government obey the court order or not obey. The whole world will see it. But every time you talk of strike, what is strike? Strike is outdated and is primitive. It's during the Mobola,
all right, so Barrister Oko, you have registered the fact that strike, is outdated. Now, what other options would you prefer in this particular scenario for NLC?
For NLC, I have always said from the beginning, they ought to have all the grievances they listed that the government is not cooperating. They ought to have gone to the National Industrial Strike, file applications, for injunctions, and pray for order of mandamus to force the government to abide by all the decisions they have reached. But they have not done that. They will say strike. This agreement in 2009.
Thank you very much, Barrister
Oko. Government has not.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Barrister Peter Oko. I appreciate. 0913600410. Please, let's stick within the 2 minutes time frame. Once it's 2 minutes, let's wrap things up, and then you can share the rest of your contribution via text message or WhatsApp. But let's try to, give more room for other contributions into the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Fuhad.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Joe.
From Mobola. I partially disagree. I partially agree and disagree with Barrister Oko, honestly, on the issue of labor.
Okay.
But over time, it is noted that it is force that our government understands through strikes and protests. See what they have done now. Are you saying that an individual has no right to protest peacefully? There are rules and guidelines guiding any protest that you want to make, which is police permit, and it is often said that it should be peaceful, that it should not be violent. If you want to protest, you are free to protest. So don't tell us that labor has heard. No. On the issue of NIGER, I think the military option should not be the best. So, because you don't know Niger's allies that want to support them. I believe that those users are not acting in isolation. You see other powers that are more powerful powers that want to be at the support of Niger. So don't plug us. They should not plug us into problems. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. John. I appreciate. Hello, good morning. Okay, 0913600410. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra and Fuhad. This is Paul from Ebeda.
Good morning, sir.
It's been a long time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's good to have you back.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Quick to the issues. Number one, I don't support military intervention. We have porous borders. Niger is as good as part.
Hello? Hello? All right. Maybe you should try to call back. We'll take your call back. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Madam Sandra, good morning. It's okay. Hey, my prof.
Good morning.
Let us good morning, sir. Madam Sandra. See, number one, let me tell you, concerning the Nigerian with ECOWAS fighting, want to fight for this thing. They should not try to. They should not try it. Russia is behind them. If they do any attack like this, they are fighting like so many countries. Our own wala is there. They should just wait our own wala here. That is my own advice to them. So the second one, I told you in the round table that they will not do anything. Let us they've already failed. Government has already defeated them in saying that what they are demanding for is not what they're supposed to demand it for. What they're supposed to demand it for is that to open our borders so that things will come down automatically. We are not producing no farm, no crop to eat, no rice, no garri in the market, from the farm. Farmer having problems. They should open border first so that everything be okay for Nigerians. They are not demanding for 200 naira, which is 200 naira as at now.
200,000.
As at now. 200,000. Sorry. As at now, you can't buy anything. We live in myself here. Come and see people lamenting. The bag of rice now is almost 50,000. They're now fighting for who? They are fighting for themselves.
Okay.
If they are fighting for us, they will tell government categorically that this is what masses want, not to increasement of money, of their salary. They are just fighting. You can see, shaking hands. Mr. Fuhad, thank you very much, and angelic voice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Femi. It's okay. All right, Engineer Femi is looking at the fact that let's look at a more collective approach to it rather than just the public workers. I think that's what we've always been saying.
Well, this argument about opening of borders, I agree that to a great extent will affect help with the price of
food items
and all of that, but it's not really the only solution that we can look into.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Sandra, this is Paul back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking about the military intervention in Niger, and I said, from my own point of view, Nigeria should not get involved militarily because it's going to be a suicidal thing. You look at the border we have with Niger, it's just like the other house facing the other side, And remember what our former president said, that if he's being disturbed, he will go to Niger, and Niger people will stand for him. So it's like invariably, Niger logically is part of Nigeria, so to say. So I am thinking that the best is diplomacy. Nigeria should deploy all available diplomatic means. So find out what is causing this military takeover in West African states. Why is it that the khaki boys are leaving the barracks and coming to issue of administration in West Africa? If those issues are not identified and solutions profiled, I think we may not see an end to it. Yesterday I was watching some foreign stations, and I discovered that Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, even Chad has opened their borders for these people, and their militaries are also on red alert, in case there will be any military intervention by ECOWAS. When we refer to ECOWAS, it's simply Nigeria. And with the kind of state of our country today, if there be any military intervention we carry out in Niger, it's going to affect us both economically and militarily. Remember the issue of the occupants of this terrorist group in the Sahel. And it would be easy for them to join and then enter into Nigeria. So the president should think wise.
Thank you.
Then about the level.
No, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, 2 minutes. It's all right. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sandra.
Yes, good morning.
My name is John the Great.
Oh, you're welcome.
Fuhad, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. John the Great.
Calling from Kawonjo. I want to encourage us, or I want to encourage the labor. There is a need for them to stand their ground. But what ground are they going to stand if they don't understand what they want to put before the government? That's why they need to go back and do a holistic approach and have a good think tank, they need to think. They need to really go back and see how to negotiate with government and to hold the government by the jugular. Because I can't just believe them to just come in to negotiate with the government under 24 hours, 48 hours visit event. There is a whole lot of things for them to do. One, they need to gain the trust of the Nigerian masses because they have dropped the ball so many times. And I don't know if you understand.
We
so there is need for them. There is need for them to really get back into their think tank and really do something holistically, so that by the time they come to present their facts, yes, Nigeria can really back them and say, yes, these people now know what they are doing, and even the government will stand up. But when they begin to go back and front and put things that is not relevant, that's what the government will always treat them that way. So there's really need for them to sit up and know what they want before they go into the negotiating table with the government. On that of the West Africa, Nigerians should not try it. There is a whole lot in our country that we are battling with. Going to the other side to go and start negotiating wars, invading them, will not be a good approach. Diplomacy is needed.
All right.
Thank God for the wisdom at least he has used the Sultan of Sokoto and the other ex-general. They should start from that angle. It will help. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, John DeGray. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. You're listening to Mainland Focus. And the focal point for this morning, we're looking at two of them. The first is as regards the next line of action for the NLC as regards their negotiations with the federal government, and also the Niger ECOWAS
Military actions.
Military actions, yes. What's the way forward with that one? We have some messages on Facebook, so I'll start with that before we go to WhatsApp messages. And we have here Chris Oloja saying, good morning. I'm so sad that Labour could allow itself to be tossed back and forth by this government like when one is playing table tennis. Yes, it's painful actually. It is. The federal government keeps playing to the guy. Okay, no. This is Olumuamuyiwa now, Olodude, saying, the federal government keeps playing to the gallery and playing the ostrich with Labour. Labour should brace up and stop being weak by using all legal apparatus to fight. Despite the numerous challenges bedeviling Nigeria, yet our government sees no reason to curb them, but concerns itself with external affairs. Okay, sorry. I'm terrible at that. That is the title that fits the federal government. I don't know the title, but I'm sure Fuhad would give us something that is related to that. All right, we also have James Ogbonna from Oshodi. Sandra, I agree, and Fuhad, Mr. Fuhad, I agree to you basically. Mr. Fuhad, there are still sanctions in place by ECOWAS on those West African countries like Sudan, Mali, Burkina Faso that have experienced coup recently, but up till now, those sanctions have not changed anything. Neither did it deter Niger. And I don't think it will change anything. You know that other countries like Mali, Burkina Faso have come to their defense. Our government should be careful not to risk our soldiers' lives. We don't have enough resources to be fighting this cause. We have our own security challenges that we have not been able to resolve. I know it's because we are at risk of a spillover. Mr. Fuad, come to Agege. You see many Niger citizens almost outnumbering our own people. Diplomacy is needed. May they no go show themselves so. And that is James Ogbonna on Facebook with his own message. All right, we also have here, still on Facebook, Patriot Biazor saying, I really see no difference between the coup in Niger Republic and the one in Nigeria last February, except the weapons. Was there a coup in Nigeria?
I don't know what it's.
I have no idea what that. I have no idea what that is. Oh, okay. No, that's not for us. European. Thank you very much, Patrick Obeazo. Let's move on now to Prince Leo Ozoma saying, good morning, Sandra and Fuad. I've never seen a country that has such a porous border with a country it wants to wage a war with in the name of proving to the world that it is still the giant of Africa. Again, we don't even have foreign currency to finance the execution of such a huge task. And for the NLC, I think they're on the right track for now, and we're watching them closely. Leo Ozoma. I also have Robert Patrick. Why should Nigeria be concerned about Niger when we have our own problems to solve? As a matter of fact, Nigeria should be very, very, very concerned about Niger.
It's a sub-regional thing, and it's just like asking why the United States is involved with so many conflicts around the world. They are the superpowers, the most powerful nation of the world. So as far as the West African sub-region is concerned, Nigeria is the most powerful, are the most influential, and so whatever happened at our back doors should concern us. We only can talk about the options we have, whether to look at kinetic or non-kinetic means. But to say we should not be concerned is wrong. We have to be concerned, and whether anybody likes it or not. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the leader of ECOWAS at this time. Yesterday, someone called in and said it was about power mongering for him. He should have rejected. No, it's about rotation. They rotate the chairmanship of ECOWAS, and it's our turn. And now we have a president who inherited that position because it's our turn and to become the chairman of ECOWAS.
All right. Thank you very much, Saheed Fuhad, for that breakdown. Now, we also have on WhatsApp here. Good morning, Sandra. Is this federal government serious at all? With what I'm seeing, this government is not serious. Does President Tinubu know that people of Nigeria are suffering and need urgent attention to their plight?
I think he knows that maybe he really doesn't have a strategy to end it immediately, but there's no way he would not know with the cries of the people.
Why is the federal government charging NLC for contempt of court? Why is the federal government talking of introducing no work, no pay policy on striking doctors who are on legitimate strike? Let the federal government not add sore to injury of Nigeria people. Benjamin from Shogunle, thank you very much. I also have here, good morning, I'm Sam from Magodo. I will urge the NLC not to allow the government to take them for granted. They should not back down by the threat of the government to sue them to court. This is to show you how irresponsible and nonchalant the government is with threats to jail labor leaders. They want to shut Nigerians not to talk when they are being punished with hardship. Nigerians should be wise to know what the government does not care about them. I still don't know the duty of the oppositions in the National Assembly. Nigerians should focus on their own issue and leave Niger to deal with their issue. The coup still points to bad governance in Niger. Sam from Magodo. We also have Ajibola Christopher from Shogunle saying, on Niger, forget military option. Continuous dialogue is the way. Otherwise, they should be allowed to manage their own affairs because it's a popular coup that came to address the needs of their people.
That's always the excuse of the khaki boys, but eventually it turns out the other way. They don't address anything. They also make a mess of the whole thing at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Ajibola Christopher. I also have here, Akpabio is the Senate president. It's okay. Ex-governors... Okay, this is Steve from Ijaniki. Thank you very much. This is not related to our focus for this morning, so I think I'll just skip that. We also have here, good morning, Sandra and Fuhad. On NLC, I think they're really doing the right thing so far. The strike is the only language government understands, but they should be more careful in handling their matters. Government should be much more responsible in this issue. On Niger Republic military junta, military options ECOWAS chairman. And it should not forget that within Nigeria, we still have many of unsolved problems.
So I agree.
We still have many. It is a political matter, and pure political measures should be taken, and not unnecessary show of power. Damlola from Alaba. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the phone line, 0913 6000 410. Hello, good morning. Yeah, just 2 minutes. Please straight to the point. Hello.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to turn off your radio set.
I've done it immediately.
All right.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Fuhad.
Good morning, Prince Wise.
Thank God, thank all of you. You see, the Niger matter, I think the dialogue that's going on now is okay. It's okay. If after dialogue, even dialogue fails, they still don't make the sanction against the country. We want to war with Niger. I think we can, if to win, use the future result. Because when you are facing Niger, the other island of Niger, like the other West African country that been governed by the military, they will like to support Niger and they will scatter. So they should leave it at sanctioning the country is okay. And for the labor, I want us, Mr. President, to just tell the Ministry of Justice to withdraw the concept of court cases. So I want everything to go accordingly. When the court give verdict there, it was against strike, not against protest.
where they have a peaceful protest, it's okay by me. At the end of the day, they went to Asoro to dialogue with Mr. President. The remaining thing for Labour Congress to do now is to negotiate the increment of salary. Or the comprehensive list of Mr. President, they should study it, set up a committee that will follow the implementation of all the good Mr. President did out, roll out. So for me, things will get better. We are feeling the pain. And Labour says to do something for us too. When you talk of that now, they've complied. Because when you go there, you go with the BRC, you pay up for the money. But the yellow budget we're talking about is not working at all. So they should do another thing about that. So, Lady Sandra, let me stop and may God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Prince Wise. Appreciate. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've been listening to you very well, and I'm trying for this country.
Thank you.
You see, the problem
your
of
name,
the Labour
sir.
Party.
Your name, sir. Your name.
Wale from Agbado. Wale
From Agbado.
Okay.
Yeah, the Labour Party are trying their best. But the problem we have Nigerian is Nigerian problem. The problem we have is political and politician problem. Because the structure we are using is the one that is giving us a serious problem. And if we say we are going to only solve the Labour problem, we are just wasting our time. So what I want to suggest is that the problem we have is structure. This is what our former president has done for us. And we are not able to give us a good structure for this country. You can imagine the day of Awolowo and sick. We know how, myself, I was there, I know how we enjoy ourselves. You finish your work, you get job, you use 504, you use Volkswagen at what cost? That is the problem. So what causes this? Bogus salary or all this political wasting money on politics. So if you can solve that one, so we just need to tell the national, the people in government that they should focus on the structure of this country, so that the political office holder will be somebody that wants to go there to serve his fatherland just for 4 years and leave the place, not a place that they be looking for bogus salary. In the election day, we will be killing ourselves. So the structure is needs to be is the problem of all Nigerians that we should and tell the government that this is how we want you to rule us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Wale. Appreciate. Hello.
Hello, Sandra. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Timothy calling you from Ojo.
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Timothy.
Thank you. You know, what the NSA are doing is for the interest of the Nigerians. If government will ever listen to that, that is my concern. Because the wastages in government is too much. Okay, up to now, the last time I checked, presidential fleet is still up to 11. Are you with me?
Yes.
Another ministry that Bola Tinubu is going to create now, you know, the SUV they are going to give them is not just ordinary SUV. You hear me? Bulletproof cars. You know how much it costs? See, if government want to really answer to Nigerians, it's simple. They can do it. If they are able to cut corruption and wastages, all this thing will be sorted out. Because, okay, let me tell you, as we always said, there's no country that the government does not subsidize for its people. Let's say you remove subsidy on petroleum. At least it is floor. Put subsidy on them so that the cost of bread and other things, bakery material will just reduce. People can afford something, have something to fall back on and survive. Let them allow NSC to weigh option for government so that the hardship may be reduced for Nigerians. Concerning the Niger about the second one on the table, we need to be very careful because all these boys, they are all over Nigeria. And you know the proliferation of light weapons, they are smuggling in Nigeria. Anything that happens to Nigeria is already in Nigeria. See the border, very porous. How many could they guide as in the border? The border is too open. We have to be very careful so that we will not have another problem. The Boko Haram issue now, we have not been able to overcome it. And on top of, see, there are other allies that are eager to fight this war with Nigeria. We have to be very careful. That's my advice to the president.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you too. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra and Fuhad. We'll be calling from Nigeria.
Good morning, Mr. Obi.
Fuhad, how are you today?
I'm good.
Fuhad, Mona no go war, I beg go. Mona no go war, I beg. Mona just go sort ordinary IPOB. Mona settle IPOB first. Then we'll know that it's like.
Are you talking to the government or me?
Yeah, no. Let's go and sort out IPO before we talk of going to Nigeria now. It's because we want to be giant of Africa. America have no internal problems like the one we have. That's why they can go outside and do anything with their land they like. And let me tell you, all these emissaries that are sending to Nigeria, what is going to be airport facility. Ask me why.
Why?
So those coup plotters now, they will say, okay, former this president will go back to your office. They will turn to CBN governor now. They'll be dealt with now. What is happening to CBN governor will happen to them there. So definitely everything, they will never change. They will only give them 4 years. Okay, take 2 years. Try and bring another government. If for this particular president, they will never allow because he's going to punish them. And we should be very careful. Russia has lost out in Europe, everywhere. The only place they want to hang on now
Africa.
is only Africa. So we should look at this Wagner group. They look at the way they're training soldiers in all of Africa. They are taking over. Let's be careful. And if you have problem with Okada man will hit your motor. And still Okada will still come and fight you. That is what is going to happen to Nigeria. Everybody is trying to bring Nigeria down. We should have use our sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Obi. Appreciate. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Alhaji Super.
Thank you. Power, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right. First of all, on the issue of labor.
Okay.
You see, I'm not so enthusiastic with labor. You see, because of the antecedents. You know, labor supposed to have the credibility of the people apart from workers. They're supposed to be a mouthpiece of workers and Nigeria. You know, in the past, you know the way they do it, fighting themselves because of their selfish interest. But at the same time, you understand, that is why I said, unless it's for them anyway. But I cannot blame them now. They came out unless they can be serious. Say I'm not enthusiastic with their behavior, and they should understand their concern about prosperity and the economic prosperity of Nigeria, not only themselves. Then on the issue of Niger, yes, somebody mentioned about the porosity of our border. Yeah. Please, I think it's a very key issue. You see, President Bola Tinubu should be very careful because he should not allow our past president, President Muhammadu Buhari, to push him because of his affiliate to Niger. You see, we have a lot of problems in our country. Already now, which it has not been suffering. It has not been solved. Nigeria is suffering. So we cannot now push ourselves to all this kind of external aggression. So you should handle with carefulness. That's my advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Suber. 0913-6000-410. Let's take some. Let's take one or two more calls and wrap things up with a few messages.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning for us. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. The last
your name,
time,
sir. Your name,
my name is Augustine, calling from Ifo, Ogun State. When they elected Ajibola as a union president, I said that Ajibola will always fail Nigeria because he sold the PACN workers. When your man was arguing with me that is that a fact, then I told you that I'm inside the system 10 years now. It is now they want to verify us to pay our remaining money. So they are still doing verification. Maybe it's going to last in October when it's going to be 10 years.
What's your point, sir? What's your point, sir? What's your point, sir?
My point is that Ajibola will always sell Nigeria workers.
Okay.
What I said is that those are weighty allegations for you to say you sold
but I told
workers.
I told you that I'm in the system. We did the verification July, May this year. We did our verification, and some people are still doing that. ECOWAS, they are still doing their verification.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, Abiola in transit.
Okay, Ajibola, I have just a minute, please.
Yeah, I really do not care about Niger, honestly.
Okay.
We have a lot in our hands. We have a lot in our hands. Just look at what is happening with the doctors right now. Just consider what is happening. I think these people should be serious. That's just my own. Let these people be serious with Nigerians because they are taking us for a ride a lot. That's just my appeal to them because as it is now, you cannot even say anything that's just to beg them. Let them just be serious with us. And that's my point. Good morning. Have a nice day.
And you too. Thank you very much, Abiola. Well, I think Fuhad has stressed the fact that we need to, pay attention to Niger. As unsavory as it tastes or sounds, that's just, it's a burden that we have to bear. All right. Thank you very much.
A big burden that we can't run away from.
We can't run away from it. All right. I have some messages here. We'll wrap things up with the messages. I have good morning. This is Joshua from Oregon. I would like to say Nigeria is not ready for any war at the moment. And if you observe very well, it's Nigeria that is in the front line of the whole thing. And the worst of all is the state that shares borders with Niger are not even strong enough to withstand any form of pressure. I just left Zamfara last year and I will tell you that the state won't survive any form of pressure. And about labor, I would like to say the government is just playing twist with the labor. Because all this while, the government is yet to bring anything to the table. Even the refineries, why is it that the government is yet to give an official statement on when to fix the refineries? We're just hearing it from labor. How sure are we that the government will take responsibility for it? And that is Joshua from Oregon. I also have good morning, Sandra and Fuhad and listener. Excuse me. ECOWAS is fighting a lost battle against Niger Republic because the military forces of Russia, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, China, North Korea, South Korea, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Japan
Japan
will repel the military aggression of ECOWAS.
And Nigeria is not alone. This, other West African, countries are also with Nigeria.
Wait, he said the combination of those countries.
No.
Wait, hold on.
He did an over list.
Wait. He said the combination of those countries would overpower ECOWAS, Africa Union, and the United States.
Wait, let me tell you. That he doesn't. Let me tell.
That's what I want to pull out from
Let me tell you this. The French still has about 1,000 troops stationed in Niger as we speak.
Yes.
And of course,
they are not activated.
They're just looking at things, and we don't know who the Nigerian officials are talking with. We don't know whether we have any collaborations going on with the French government, or whether they are going to give us area backups and all. So when people say, "Oh, we can't overpower them," no. As it speaks, the Nigerian army is less than 10,000. Even the Malian army is a ragtag army. Burkina Faso, I look at those guys, it's a completely ragtag army. If the French are really interested in this, they give us the needed backup, we get the support of the United States, we'll root out those guys in 2-3 days.
Olumiwa from Festac, thank you very much. But
it's a very, it's something that we have to be careful about. I agree, but it's not as if it's not.
We don't have Upato.
Oh no, it's something.
Good morning, mainland crew. Niger invasion. Tinubu should tread with caution and face duty instead of sending young Nigerian soldiers, as it happened in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Thanks, Chris Ojugbeli from Ikeja. I also have good morning. This is Gege Joshua from Ebute Meta. Oga Fuhad, I completely disagree with you on your submission on this Niger crisis. We have not sanctioned Niger. Almost half of their population is running into Nigeria. If we sanction them, what do you think will happen? These are struggling countries and our next door neighbor. The defense ministers of all the other ECOWAS members need to draw a target and seal the war within few days, or else it will be difficult when the other military countries join in. Just for once, Nigeria just have to show to the rest of the continent that they are forever the bigger brother. These coups are for God's sake in our backyard. This is a danger to our democracy, our territory, ECOWAS, Nigeria.
Sandra, did I say anything different? Completely different from what you said?
Said the same thing. Nigeria and ECOWAS have to react with full force. The forces are not going to be mainly Nigerian army. Other members of ECOWAS too will also say
anything that involves force has to be done, with a lot of caution. That's what I'm saying.
And that's all for today. That's a wrap. Thank you very much. I apologize to Victor Celestine Ide. I couldn't take your message from Facebook and calls that we couldn't take, and also WhatsApp and text messages we couldn't take. Apologies. But of course, like I said earlier on, Comrade Omoyele Showore will be in the Situation Room by 4 p.m. today. So please stay tuned for that. There's also, a card that I'm yet to let out of the bag as regards political roundtable on Sunday, so that's another one to look out for. But stay tuned. Coming up next is ArgView Half Hour. Thank you very much, Fuhad.
Thank you for having me, Sandy.
And that's a wrap for Mainland Focus for today.